and we're back inside of 2 weeks out. And it's a pretty common cliche in powerlifting to say that this close to the meet, you're not going to get any stronger. And for the most part, I do agree with that because, like, pushing on the main lifts right now, that isn't going to help me on meet day. Like, I'm not going to get any benefit from going hard on squat, bench, or deadlift. But I do think that from a accessory lift perspective, from a neurological perspective, if there is a straight up strength problem, if there is something that is holding back the lift, I think giving it a little push, if we're selective of the movement, selective on how hard we pull the lever, I think that some strength can still be made up this close. So we're going to see a little bit of lever pulling, accessory lift pushing on this dynamic effort bench session, but name of the game on the speed bench is just do the bare minimum to feel the snap, feel the pop, feel the groove. So let's get into it. And plan is, if shit's feeling good, gonna just do 3 sets reverse grip and then probably 3 sets comp grip. So yeah, just trying to feel the lats and then feel the pop. Woo! And revies are kicking, so let's make comp grip kick harder. And where I feel like there's still some strength to be dog hair on the lens, but where I feel like there's still some strength to be made up, where I feel like we're still building, is like it feels like my triceps are just starting to wake up. So we're gonna give JM's one last kind of push. Okay, let's make sure this one doesn't suck. All right, 2 reds. Gotta remember to suck the elbows down a little harder this set. I was hoping that would have felt good enough that we could go 285, but I mean, it is what it is. We just jammed heavy on Friday, so not too worried about it, and that is going to be enough to get the job done for me. And now that the hard shit is done for the day, on to the dialing in sensation shit. Some more of these starter and pull down, sucking scaps, squeezing with lats. And I wanted to mention that the reason I'm okay pushing triceps hard today when my Tuesdays have been pretty pulled back triceps wise last couple weeks is that I don't got to bench heavy this Friday, so I'm not worried about being fresh on Friday. And I know that pushing JMs hard today isn't still going to be with me by the time meet day gets here, so I'm not worried about that fatigue getting in the way. And I do think that one last hard tricep push is going to serve me well when it is platform time. So that's why I'm okay with working hard on those today when I haven't been okay with working hard on triceps the last couple weeks. And now I'm just rambling. So I'm going to shut up and just focus on that lat squeeze. All right, set number 2. Same deal. Scaps down, lats hard, chest tall. You know the drill by this point. As I'm burping up my intra-workout root beer. And like the goal is to just feel these nice and low on the rib cage. Well, and all the way up to the shoulders as well. But like I'm really trying to feel most of the contraction low in the rib cage. You're gonna get a little bit higher up as you go deeper in the pull, but you want her in the meaty part of the lat because that's what's gonna help hold rib cage up when you're pressing. And for the old upper back work, gonna run some more of these blast strap face pulley thingies. I don't know, they just feel nice and they're easy to set up. And at this point, feeling nice and easy to set up when I can still get good work in, that's a win on all fronts. So that is what we're going with here. And I'm just gonna go till I get a nice little pumpy pump, and that'll be it. Yeah, satisfactory pump. And yes, that is a reverse hyper underneath the staircase. I actually had to take a Sawzall to the framing of the stairwell because the footprint of the Rogue reverse hyper doesn't take into account the little like end plate things. So when I brought it down here, I thought it would fit, and then I was really disappointed to find out that it didn't fit, so had to do some home improvement modifications. Anyways, on to set number 2. Once again, just go until the pump is satisfactory. Yep. And last thing I'm going to run today is just a little bit of range of motion access for the old shouldies, pecky pack. Nice pump, nice squeeze. Gonna experiment with some reverse grip-ish here too. That feels really nice. I've been doing those kind of as shoulder prep here and there too. And just like doing these, moving through range, feeling tension, feeling stretch has been very beneficial for the shoulder pec sensitivity. And just like loading the stretch position, feeling a big stretch and contracting out of it has been so good for just learning to trust the pec once again. So if you got shoulder problems, big range push-ups at like a high angle so it isn't super hard can be very, very, very friendly for you. And again, just go until I get a nice little titty pump, feeling nice little titty squeeze. They're starting to get engorged. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but they're feeling blown up, so we're getting close. Couple more. Oh yeah. And set number 2 here. Got the feet a little further back off the deadlift platform, so got a little bit more aggressive angle on her for a little bit more load, but again, it still is pretty friendly relative to what I've been benching. And again, the goal here is just expose the range that has been a little bit sensitive, and we can expose the range, build control there, build tissue tolerance there. That range is going to get less sensitive, so yeah, Push-ups, they're good for you. Big range push-ups, even better for you if you can tolerate it. And if you can't tolerate a big range push-up, just limit the range and work your way down into more range, and they're going to get more good for you. I don't know, I'm just rambling again, but it's going to take some reps to get to the amount of pump that I desire. Mission accomplished. And that is that. And like I said last time, the work is done. And like I said last time, the work that has been done has led to one of the best meet preps I've ever had and the most confidence I've really ever had going into a meet. And like, the reason I'm so confident is not because this prep was smooth, and it's not because this prep was perfect, because it was far from it. There were a lot of frustrating training sessions, a lot of misses that shouldn't happen, and a lot of just like needing to re-figure shit out coming back from this pec tear. And like, the reason I'm so confident is because I had those days where it was fucked up. I had those days where it went wrong. And I took those days, I learned from them, and I made adjustments, and I made the right decisions on those days as things were getting fucked up to move forward and to build into the end of the prep. And I think where a lot of intermediate lifters, even a lot of advanced lifters, go wrong is they're so obsessed over trying to make the prep into this vision that they have that is the perfect meet prep. And reality is like, prep is never going to be perfect. And if you're so obsessed with making it perfect that any little mistake turns you into just a downward spiral of mental fuckery, you're not going to succeed. And it's like, you got to accept that it isn't always going to be great, but you still can make it at least productive. And as long as you're able to make it at least productive, as long as you're able to learn from why things are going sideways on a given training day, like, that given training day's performance doesn't matter. What matters is how you're able to take that training day's performance, even if it was a bad one, and then build it into the rest of the prep to move you forward in the big picture. So guys, that is what I got for today. Don't let a bad session ruin a prep. Don't let a bad session ruin your day. Let a bad session be a learning opportunity, and let it be exciting, because a bad session means that you can fix whatever the hell made it bad and get better from it. So peace out. Have a good night. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Have a good night. Yeah, I said that twice, but I didn't know what to say to close out. So the end.